Chapter 7 of Bigger, page 55. Tyler felt the dog's eyes on him as he refreshed the fire with a few twigs, spooned what was left of the old woman's soup into the tin cup, and set it to heat in the warm ashes. At the creek, he scrubbed his hands and face, combed water through his hair with his fingers. All the while, he knew the dog was hanging there on the bank, shy as a schoolboy new in class. "Bigger," Tyler called, scooping up a drink of water for himself in the empty jar. "Come on down and help yourself." Slowly, his wide head lowered, his peculiar eyes seeming to divide him into one dog that was trustful and one that was skeptical. Bigger came closer. He stuck his nose in the stream, lapped up a quick drink, then looked about warily. "Good dog," Tyler congratulated him. "See, that didn't hurt you a bit." But when he reached out to stroke Bigger's head, the dog flinched. His upper lip curled back, showing rows of sharp, gleaming teeth. He laid his ears flat against his head. His powerful jaws snapped shut on empty air, and he backed off with a low, warning growl that came from deep inside his white chest. "You might be an easy keeper, all right," Tyler grumbled, snatching his hand away, his heart hammering, "but you sure ain't a quick one to make up." For a fleeting moment he wished the dog could speak, that he could tell what had happened in the past that made him so scared of getting close, so afraid of even a kind word. Maybe he'd been beaten, Tyler surmised. Maybe he had good reason to be suspicious. After all, Uncle Matt had threatened to shoot him. Well, maybe someone, somewhere had actually tried to blast him to Kingdom Come. The only thing to do, Tyler decided, was give him room, and in time, with luck, maybe he'd warm up. On the other hand, maybe Bigger was the sort of dog who'd never be a real pet. Maybe he'd never be a hearth lizard like Maggie, toasting herself by the fire, first on one side, then on the other on cold winter nights, as she thought it was her right to do. As Tyler had done the night before at supper, he ate his breakfast, but left enough for the dog to have another serving of soup and part of the last biscuit. While Bigger snapped up his portion, the boy rolled up his pack, tied it, and smothered the fire. The morning turned cool, and soon the sun was screened by a thin layer of clouds that took the glare off the landscape, making traveling easier. As he walked along, something began to nibble at Tyler's consciousness, and he tried to put his finger on exactly what it was. Then it came to him. This would be his 4th day alone. He hadn't realized it would be so lonesome going day after day with no one to talk to. Back home, on a morning such as this, Mama would be making suggestions about the day that was borning. Lucas would be chattering like a magpie. Rosalie would be keeping up a steady stream of nonsense talk to the rag doll she dragged by the leg to the breakfast table. Even Maggie would be sighing and murmuring to her pups. And if he were there, he'd have 1 or 2 things to say before he went out to do chores. "I wonder if Lucas has fixed that latch on the gate yet," Tyler asked Bigger. He turned, and the dog halted in his tracks, seeming not to wish to get any nearer than about 6 feet behind. Tyler commenced walking again. Just because Bigger couldn't talk to him didn't mean he couldn't talk to Bigger. "You know what Mama said, Bigger?" Tyler went on. "The same thing that almost everyone I know says, that Papa must be dead. She said that has to be the reason he hasn't come home yet." He continued walking and listened for the dog's soft footfalls in the yellow dust behind him. "What if she's right, Bigger?" he asked, and the question hung suspended on the cloudy morning air. "What if it's true that Papa's dead and that he's buried somewhere, will never come home again? What if he's gone forever, Bigger?" Maybe it was a good thing that he could discuss this matter with Bigger. It was a subject that would be difficult to talk to a person about. Dead, buried, never come home again. Gone, forever. Saying such words, looking at someone whose eyes might fill up with pity or horror, would be hard to do. Tyler turned again to consult Bigger. The dog stopped, dropping his haunches into the dust as if he expected to hear more. What dumb, stupid old Cousin Clayton said was even worse, Tyler muttered. Why, of course Papa wants to be found. At the mention of Clayton's name, Tyler was sure he saw the dog lift its ear ever so slightly. Clayton doesn't know. I know. He'd have come with me in a minute if only I'd ask him, Tyler told Bigger. He says I'm crazy as a cootie bug, that I'm deaf, but he'd give anything to be as crazy as me. He'd like to quit being his mama's boy, only he can't work up enough nerve. This time, when he continued his journey, Tyler imagined that the dog followed a little closer at his heels. Bigger, you don't know Papa, Tyler explained, so maybe you can't understand exactly why I've got to go find him. Tyler puzzled on it himself a moment. Was it the sight and sound of Papa's lively eyes and rich dark voice that he missed the most? Was it the fact that no one came around the farm on Sweet Creek when Papa wasn't there, that life wasn't jolly when there was no guffawing and backslapping and storytelling? Or was it because even a quick touch now and then of Papa's hand on his shoulder made him feel, well, like a son had a right to feel? Tyler fished one of Papa's letters out of his pocket and read a few lines to Bigger as he walked along. No one knows how long this war will last, Papa wrote, but the way some of our men can fight, why, I ought to be home in no time. Those boys in blue can't match our men in gray, especially when it comes to cavalry. Didn't they know us Missourians were born on horseback? Tyler refolded the letter and returned it to his shirt pocket. Papa's words were so full of hope and high spirits that Tyler was infected with confidence too. With Papa home, Bigger, things will be right again. Just like Lucas says, I can go fishing more often with Lucas because I won't have to do most of the work myself. We can hunt squirrels, and maybe I can even spend more time with my books than I do now. That sounded selfish and small-hearted, so Tyler amended his remark. Not that I mind work, Bigger. Why, I've kept up the place in a way that'll make Papa proud. He remembered the loose hinge on the gate and wished he'd taken time to fix it himself so things would be almost perfect when Papa got home. Yet the possibility that dead, buried, gone forever, nevertheless might turn out to be true haunted Tyler. So what if that's how it is, Bigger, he whispered, that Papa's dead, that I'll never see him again. What will I do then? He wished the dog would come even closer, would poke its wet nose into the palm of his hand like Maggie did when she wanted some loving. Tyler noticed the dog's tail made a single quarter sweep in the dust, like the hand on a clock going from 12 noon to a quarter past. What will I do if Papa's dead, like everyone says? Tyler asked again, this time softly, as if not saying the words too loud would keep such a thing from coming true. If that's how it turns out to be, you'll make do somehow, the cool blue eye advised him. Meantime, have faith and don't imagine the worst before you know the best, the warm brown eye soothed. Tyler smiled. Yes, that was good counsel, he decided. So, Bigger, tell me about yourself, he invited, feeling expansive and relieved in spite of the fact the dog hadn't said anything at all. Who was it that tied you up and left you in New Hope, Bigger? If you'd been my dog, why, I'd never have done that to you. Cross my heart. Tyler turned so the dog could see him cross his heart. It seemed to him that Bigger hustled a bit, trotted a little closer behind than any time before. When the three of us, you and me and Papa, finally get back home, you'll never be put on a chain again, Bigger. No, sir, you won't. Nobody'll ever say they're going to take you out to the woods to put a bullet through your head either. And when we get back to Sweet Creek, you'll have more than just people for company. We've got a fine hound there. Maggie's her name, and her 4 pups will torment the daylights out of you. You can be a good uncle to them, same's Uncle Matt is to me." The scene was so warm in his mind. The vision of the 2 dogs on the hearth, the 4 fat pups rolling close by, Mama flushed and happy, Papa at the table with Lucas and Rosalie hanging on him, that the sound of the rock whizzing through the air and the sharp pain as it struck his right forehead caught Tyler totally unaware. He reeled. He felt himself pitch backward. The earth seemed to rotate in the opposite direction from the way he was falling. A roar filled his ears. Starbursts of red and yellow showered inside his head. The blow tumbled him flat in the road and left him spread-eagled in the dust as if it was he who'd been killed, not Oatsnap's brother, Billy.